Daily Blast Live. We're talking about what you're talking about. Real, honest, entertaining, live. DBL starts right now.
3, 2.
Welcome to Daily Blast Live. It's Friday, March the 19th. I'm Steph. I'm here with Brandon and Al.
Yes,
with the boys.
Let's get some energy in here.
Let's get
Bro,
started,
I haven't been on the panel with you in at least a month and a half.
It's been forever, and it's like I feel like this is an empty situation now, but we're slowly getting back to normalcy. So, you know, soon the whole crew will be back together.
I know,
It's a
I
good
hope
start.
so. Fingers crossed.
Yes.
Super soon. Okay, so let's get to it. We're learning more details about the ongoing divorce between Angelina Jolie and Brad Pitt. So according to Us Weekly, their son Maddox, who's 19, gave testimony during the trial that, well, it wasn't very flattering towards Brad. Maddox also reportedly wants to drop Pitt from his last name, but apparently Angelina isn't on board with that. And as we told you, Angelina filed court documents accusing Brad of domestic violence and said she had proof to back up her claims. And back in 2016, Brad was cleared of any child abuse allegations after police looked into an incident between Brad and Maddox on a private plane. So what do you guys think about Maddox testifying?
I'm wondering, since he was cleared of the child abuse allegations, is Maddox testifying for his mother in a domestic situation? Is that him drawing that line and saying, hey, I stand on the mother's side? Because yesterday we were talking about how ugly these things can get, and you don't have to be an A-list celebrity like Brad and Angelina. Everyday people go through the everyday families go through this type of thing. So I think Maddox is kind of picked his side now on who he's going to fight for, who he's going to testify for, and it's unfortunate because it's going to get even uglier.
Yeah, I mean, Brandon, Steph, I don't know how saying that you're going to drop your father's last name, I think we're at the threshold of ugly at that point.
Yeah.
I don't, honestly, I swear I would say let's just stop the trial, because there's nothing that could happen worse in this courtroom than what was just said to me by my son. And when we first kind of got wind of this story a couple of days ago, you know, I was like, well, is it worth it for a kid to testify? Because you might damage them. They're starting to become young adults. They're going to be forming their own relationships, romantic and otherwise. So maybe this is a bad thing, but this seemed like it was cathartic, Steph.
Yeah.
And it seemed like he needed to let his dad know, in no uncertain terms, this is what it is. It's beyond I'm on mom's side. It's like I'm being forced to call you a family member. And that's next level for me.
Yeah, so if we rewind back to 2016, so we don't fully know still to this day exactly what happened on that plane. What we do know is that they left France on a private jet. They were going back to LA. Brad reportedly was extremely drunk and making accusations towards Angelina to the point where Maddox felt he had to step in as a young son and protect his mother. That's what actually sparked Angelina then to proceed into the divorce. And he's not spoken to Brad since. That was obviously 5 years ago. He went and left and went to school, college in South Korea. And during that time, Angelina helped move him in. As you know, the moms or dads go and take their kids to college, you know. And he got caught off guard by a reporter, and they said, you know, will your dad be coming to visit you? And he was like, I don't particularly want him to. I don't want him here. You know, I don't know where this is going to go. And also the second child that they have, Pax, who's now 17, has no relationship with Brad either. So it's looking a bit, like you said, very turbulent. And obviously, like, I can't imagine saying to my dad or my mother, I don't want your name. I don't want to be associated with you in any way at all.
And I'm thinking that's not his biological father.
Right.
So when you think about, I know a lot of people who've been adoptive, and they think about those are their parents. They took on that last name, and they feel as though they are a part of that family. For you to tell your adoptive father that I no longer want your last name, I think you have to look into that as well, because like you said, that line has been drawn. He wants nothing to do with it.
What I do like though is how Angelina's been handling it. So she's not been revealing any private details. She refused to say what happened on that plane.
It must have been bad.
Well, she's also said to Maddox, don't lose your father's name. There's no need. You're taking it too far. We're a family unit. So she's handled it with the utmost of class. So I guess we'll have to wait and see what happens next. But it's very sad. Wishing them all the best. Talking about another family, different type of drama here. The final season of Keeping Up with the Kardashians premiered last night. I know. In a preview of next week's episode, Kim's family talks about her impending divorce from Kanye West. But her mum suggests that while Kim is struggling, she doesn't want to talk about her marriage troubles on camera. Meanwhile, Scott Disick revealed what led to his breakup with Sophia Richie. So the two of them split up last August after dating for 3 years, and Scott said Sophia gave him an ultimatum: either her or his ex, Courtney. Let's have a look.
My priority has been my children, my life with them, and I even put it out there that taking care of you is one of my priorities.
Yeah.
I realize that Sophia has been an absolute trooper, but the truth is anybody dating somebody is gonna feel neglected when their significant other is spending more time with their ex than with them.
Oh, so is it fair that she made this kind of ultimatum? So do we think that Scott and Courtney are too close, or is this to be expected when you're part of a blended family?
I do think it's fair. And we haven't had a chance to sit down and have a nice beer together.
Let's do it now.
Cheers. I always ask you for advice, and I was talking with a friend yesterday, and they were asking me, could you date a woman with a kid? At 36, at Brendan at 25, Brendan at 30, even 33 was like, no. Brendan at 36 now is yes, but I still have some sort of hesitation, because if she has that kid, she already has a kid, you're not number one. You're never going to be her number one, and a lot of people struggle with that.
Right.
So it's one of those things where I don't fault Sophia Richie for giving him that ultimatum like that, because you want to feel like you're that partner's number one.
I don't think she's necessarily saying don't spend time with the kids, because she's very aware of that, but I think she's more concerned about his relationship that he still has with the mother of the kids.
Okay.
Because they're very close, and I think it's actually beautiful that they can remain in such an incredible understanding and have such a great friendship, and they really do co-parent those children. But I can understand also he's constantly saying how much he loves her, which again it's hard, because on one side, if you broke up with your partner and you had a child with them, how amazing that you've got such a civil, amazing bond and friendship that you can continue that on. But if you're their new partner, hearing them constantly being told how much you love them, that they were the love of your life.
Yeah.
Oh, I mean, it's hard, right?
It's as the only person on this panel that's gone through a divorce, I can tell you firsthand that not only are they difficult, but they are difficult when you move on to your next relationship, because like you said, Brandon, they're not going to be number one, and if there's more kids, they might be number 4.
Wow.
You know, and so when you start talking about, well, this person that I really care for takes care of their kids and has a close relationship, that's wonderful, but you cannot separate usually the other spouse from those kids unless that spouse is gone. So it's a package deal in which you are accepting that you already know that you're going to be number 3, 4, 5, and that's a place that most people cannot put themselves mentally. And it doesn't seem like they crossed the line, but you know, my ex dates somebody else, and there is a clear line. And I think if you are going to ask somebody to step into a situation like that, there can be no blurred lines. There has to be like, there is nothing going on here. Trust and believe that. We are just raising these children in love and showing them how to have a functional relationship. So I don't know. I think when you ask somebody to do that, it's incumbent upon you to also make sure that there is no question that this person is getting with you now knows that
it's platonic.
It's platonic and nothing else.
And imagine trying to do that as a Kardashian. Just everything's blown up a lot more.
Okay, right, this next story, I think this is crazy. Okay. So Sharon Stone, she's spilling the tea. The actress has opened up about the uglier side of Hollywood in her upcoming memoir, The Beauty of Living Twice. Check this out. I'm shocked. Sharon revealed that she was asked to sleep with an unnamed co-star to improve their on-screen chemistry, and she refused, saying, quote, "You think if I beep him, he will become a better actor? Nobody's that good in bed." And she also dished on that infamous cross-legged scene from Basic Instinct. So Sharon said she was asked to remove her underwear, but she was assured that her privates would not be shown on screen. Well, we all know that didn't happen when we saw the movie, and Sharon was so upset she said she slapped the director, rightfully so, hon, but then agreed to leave the scene in because it was true to the character.
How do you feel about that?
I'm so
I don't know what to
mad.
think about that.
Is this some kind of joke? I want to know. I hope she names and shames the person that said, go and jump into bed with this unnamed actor to get the scene better. They having a laugh?
I mean, I appreciate, Steph, how animated you are and how upset this makes you. That's a beautiful thing.
Yeah.
But I think we need to understand that we live in a different world in 2021. I think we can mark time like before we could record things and after. You see the way people act on set, the way people talk. Before this, before there were women in positions of power, before there was diversity in terms of the power structure, and it was just dudes, what do you think is going to happen? What would have happened if she had spoken up? They would have blackballed her and had 2 more women in her place.
Why
and
are you shaking your head? You're shaking your
I just think
It's
it's
sad.
so
It's sad.
outrageous, and I'm glad that she's spoken up now, and obviously in a time where her coming forward is taken more seriously. But it literally disgusts me that these were filmed when I was in my my earlier years,
Yes.
and that women were still having to go through all of that at that point. And also
And
to
who
the
are you gonna
point
tell?
where, well, who was she going to tell? Luckily, she said she wasn't going to do it, and she kept in the role. But how shameful! I just hope whoever tried to make her do that no longer is in the business, because she still is. And
That's a good point.
and it's within my lifetime.
Yeah.
It's just disgusting. Outrageous. I don't know if you can tell, but I'm furious.
I love it.
Really?
Not happy. Coming up on DBL. On a happier note, it is Fashion Fix Friday, so I've got all the gossip on this thrift store style trend, plus this utterly amazing outfit that Katy Perry rocked on American Idol, and also Teen Vogue's new editor, well, she's out of a job after some backlash over old tweets. So we'll be telling you what those tweets said next.
Closed captioning provided by
And done.
Our brains spend hours every day taking in and processing information from all directions. But like the saying goes, too much of anything can be a bad thing. In fact, doctors say our brains were designed to have regular rest periods, and that's because they function on 2 main modes of processing. The first one is action-oriented and lets you concentrate on tasks and solving problems, like when you're at work or even watching your favorite show. But sometimes our brains go into what's called the default mode network. That switches on whenever your mind takes a break and starts wandering. So if you've ever been reading a book and made it through several pages before realizing you don't even really know what you just read, this is probably why. This second mode isn't bad. Actually, scientists at the University of Southern California's Brain and Creativity Institute say it's critical because it creates rejuvenation in the brain and is linked to well-being, intelligence, and creativity. Basically, it gives your mind a chance to reflect and sort some things out. Dr. Stu Friedman at the University of Pennsylvania suggests giving yourself a break every 90 minutes or whenever you start to feel drained, unable to concentrate, or even stuck on a problem.
So the incoming teen Vogue editor is out of a job right now, and it's all over tweets that she sent out as a teen. So 27-year-old Alexi McCammond was set to begin the new position next week, but now she's been forced to resign, saying the tweets have overshadowed the work she's done to highlight the people and issues that she cares about. There are even reports that the Ice Queen herself, Anna Wintour, was unable to save her job even though she tried, and the resurfaced tweets from 2011 reportedly cost the publication a 7-figure ad campaign. Some of the tweets, which you can see here, were saying anti-Asian things like Googling how to not wake up with swollen Asian eyes. Another read, give me a 2 out of 10 on my chem problem, cross out all of my work and don't explain what I did wrong. Thanks a lot, stupid Asian TA. Oh, it makes me feel bad just saying it. McCammond had reportedly disclosed the tweets to Wintour before she was hired and has repeatedly apologized for them. But the question is, should someone be held accountable for a mistake made as a teenager years later?
At first, Al, when I looked at it, these tweets were back in 2011. She was 17 years old. Just think, if we had iPhones back then, we had the Nokias playing Snake back then. We didn't have Twitter, so just think what it came out of our mouths at that time. You go and you look at her timeline, there's nothing like that, so there's no repeat behavior. But now that I've grown up, now that I've been in the professional football locker room, I understand that if your production isn't as big as your problem, especially with what's prevalent in the world right now with anti-Asian hate that's going out there, Anta Winters has a boss, can't save your job. You have to go. Yeah. And people have to understand that now. You better go clean everything up about yourself and your social media.
Just a terrible timing on both parts. Yeah. She was born at a time where at 17 years old you could write something that would be in the universe forever. I mean, who on this planet was saying things at 17 that they were proud of or would repeat today? That's part of being young. That's part of growing up and understand the power in your rhetoric. But, you know, if this was allowed to go on, the next time somebody that maybe you don't support so much has some things come out, they'll be like, hey, you supported her. Yeah. Why are you not supporting this person? So, unfortunately, fair is fair, and it seems like she got caught in the wash.
Oh, well, I just hope that this is an educational moment to everyone that is young now that's got fast fingers. Think anything before you type. Remember, people have feelings, and don't be cruel. There's nothing worse than an online troll. Not nice. Coming up on DBL, I'm breaking down the latest style trends in Fashion Fix Friday, from thrift shop attire to comfortable but cute outfits to rock post-pandemic. We've got it all.
People are wearing masks.
Doctors report a baby girl in Florida was born with the antibodies to fight COVID-19 thanks to her mom. Let's connect the dots. A new study says the Florida mother is a frontline healthcare worker who received her first dose of the Moderna vaccine when she was 30 weeks pregnant. She gave birth 3 weeks later to a healthy baby with COVID-19 antibodies. Doctors believe the mother passed on those antibodies through the placenta, but more research needs to be done. The idea of a mom passing on protections to her baby is not new. Starting in the second trimester, a pregnant woman starts passing important disease-fighting molecules onto her fetus. This ramps up as the pregnancy goes on and is critical to helping newborns fight off infections. These maternal antibodies help protect babies until their own immune system matures and they are old enough to be vaccinated themselves. Pregnant women were not in the original trials for the Moderna and Pfizer coronavirus vaccines, a common practice in these studies, but Pfizer has announced a large-scale trial with expectant mothers, and Moderna has created a registry to track how pregnant women respond to the vaccine.
Welcome back to Daily Blast Live. I'm Stephanie Jones and it is time for Fashion Fix Friday. Today, why we're all of a sudden obsessed with the 2000s, and later, what does post-pandemic fashion look like? We'll be finding out in Fashion Fix Friday. But first, I have to give a shout out to one outfit I found incredibly moving. Okay, here's why I did that bad cow joke. This may look like Katy Perry wearing a cow print ensemble paired with matching hat and gloves, but there's much more to this outfit. The new mum recently surprised her fellow American Idol judges when she revealed the dress's secret breastfeeding panel. I'm ready to go! Katie is not shy about being a working mum, and she welcomed her first daughter, Daisy Dove, with Orlando Bloom back in August, and she's never been afraid to keep it real since, sometimes a bit too real. I'm ready to go! Low-rise jeans, a dress over pants, and animal print skin tight tops. Chances are, one of those 2000 style trends I just mentioned made your skin crawl, and you're not alone. And it might blow your mind to see current celebs rocking old looks. But there's another reason other than nostalgia at work here. Let's just say Macklemore was a little ahead of time with his 2014 song Thrift Shop.
I'ma take your grandpa style. I'ma take your grandpa style. No, for real. Ask your grandpa, can I have his hand-me-down?
You can thank your local thrift store for the rise in Y2K trends. Online and in person, thrift stores are super popular right now. So the next time you see someone wearing capri pants, hey, that might just be yours. And finally, we're wrapping up with a look towards the future. If the pandemic was defined by sweatpants and athleisure, what will post-pandemic fashion look like? Well, here's what fashion journalists are predicting. See your sweats and hello sequins and sparkles. After a year of lounging around in our PJs, people are ready to dress up. So get ready for everything shiny and shimmery. But that's not to say we didn't take a few lessons away from 2020. We spent a lot more time outside last year, and it's resulted in designers spending more time on winter wear. So expressing yourself with a big puffy winter jacket, oh yeah, it could just be the next big thing. And good news for the comfort lovers out there. If you're not ready to part with the elastic waistband just yet, knitted tops and dresses are loose enough for a weekend at home or a day out and about on the town, and they're predicted to be a hot item. That's it for this week's Fashion Fix Friday. DBL will be back after this.
Promotional consideration is brought to you by
Following the shooting in Atlanta, Georgia, we saw multiple viral claims popping up online about the shooter, the motive, and more. We're breaking down what we know right now to be true, false, and what's still unknown. Starting with these Facebook posts. They appear to be from the shooter and talk about the need to fight back against China. Now, many people are sharing these as evidence of the motives for the shooter, but a spokesperson for Facebook confirmed these are fake posts and that the platform is removing them. So we're moving these to false for now. Now, right now, the motives of the shooter are being investigated, but following the shooting, we've seen lots of claims that hate crimes against Asian Americans have been on the rise during the pandemic. So is that true? Well, to find out, we looked at data from the FBI and a report by the Center for the Study of Hate and Extremism. Now, that report found an overall decrease of hate crimes in 2020 of about 7%, but among Asian Americans, that number rose 150% in 2020. So yes, the number of hate crimes against Asian Americans are on the rise during the pandemic. That's verified. Finally, was the shooting in Atlanta a hate crime against Asian Americans? This is the big question right now. The FBI defines a hate crime as a criminal offense against a person or property motivated in whole or in part by an offender's bias against a race, religion, disability, sexual orientation, ethnicity, gender, or gender identity. Now, the shooting in Atlanta fits parts of that definition. But ultimately, we have to wait for the FBI investigation into this case to be finished before we can officially say what the shooter's motives actually were. So for now, we're leaving this question in the unverified column. Folks, if you have any other claims or questions you want us to look into, send us an email. With your Verify, I'm Jason Puckett.
Exercise offers so many benefits, but did you know it can help enhance aging brains? We're chatting about it on DBL's Focus on Fitness, presented by QBE. So exercise impacts the way your brain communicates, like thinking and remembering. That's why it is so important to exercise as you age. A study by the New York Times found out that older adults that take aerobic dance classes twice a week show improvements in brain areas critical for memory. After a workout, your brain's memory center actually starts interacting in healthier new ways, which could help prevent memory loss and lower the risk of dementia. When it comes to staying active, QB is changing the way the world thinks about fitness, regardless of physical ability or age. Try out their under-desk elliptical at home. Call 1-800-730-3397 or visit QB.com to learn more. Thanks so much for watching, guys. We'll be back on Monday, same time, same place.